Hello, Dr. Robinson. This is Carla Lucas talking, doing speech, informative speech for the English class 1250 011 2 for Dr. Robinson, my instructor. The topic I would like to cover is human trafficking. Human trafficking is the moving of people, usually illegal, for exploitation of some sort, usually sexual or for employment or for other person's ideas other than the victim. In this speech, I would like to cover what human trafficking means. So the top introduction covered it pretty well. If I go into detail and discuss it a little bit. Then we have a chart that was included in the PowerPoint presentation that shows how the calls went that were concerning human trafficking. This is informative speech because not much has been done or can be done to save victims from this demise. Okay, the first definition of human trafficking is moving of people, usually men, women, or children, against their will for exploitation. We know of sexual exploitation in many places for young girls and 12-year-olds, but the part of men has been seldom heard, but I'm sure it's very much used. We thought slavery had ended a long time ago with our emancipation with Abe Lincoln, but has not ended. But like I said, a chart was included in the PowerPoint presentation to show how the calls went concerning human trafficking in the year 2011. There's been an act, Trafficking Victim Protection Act, has been put into effect about 2000. I think Bush signed that contract, and even Obama made 1 month, the month of January this year, as the Trafficking Victims Month. I'm not sure how far that goes to help the victims, but I'm glad it's in effect. It has a lot of stipulations that supposed to make it a little harder for the traffickers to get victims, and it helps these communities recognize the symptoms of such things happening. An interview I had in the interview I included into my PowerPoint presentation was about an individual who was a victim. They weren't willing to come forward about very much because the fear was still great. It had been quite long ago since she had been, but the fear was still great. Even today, I got the impression that she had a lot of anxiety about the situation, and that when she tried to tell, it was not heard. No one even believed her. Most of us can't think of being a victim or being herded into a car or vehicle against their own will. We always believe that people have the power to make their own decisions. This victim had the rare opportunity, horrifying experience of knowing otherwise. She had opportunity, she said, to look into the eyes of her captors, and they had no concern for her whatsoever. She was just an object, she was an animal. Well, it was a horrifying look. For one of those part of the situation that she was in, she was afraid to speak up because what they would do to her. She went along with a lot of the situation, so even though she explained to others on the outside, no one believed her. And after a while, she began to doubt herself, and maybe it's just a part of her life, maybe her destiny is made this way. Like I said, the Trafficking Protection Victims Act has been in force since 2000. This incident happened in August, I think she said August 1990? Yes, but it's still so real in her mind. She goes to counseling on a regular basis for these situations. We pray for our victims on a regular basis that they will be able to get sincere help. But I know in the Bible, speaking for the victim, that these times would come, according to the Bible, that our children will be stolen. And we see that this is happening. And our society and community is not very alert to know that this is happening right under their noses, just right in everyday life. This speech was about human trafficking. We we spoke very much about an interviewer, what she spoke about her circumstances and her experiences, and an act that's in place to help victims make it hard for traffickers to do this. The calls weren't very profitable. They benefited a few victims, but most times not. We pray and hope that this is informative to most people and that the community will be more sensitive about these situations. Thank you for your attention. This was just an informative speech to just open people's eyes about the situation. Thank you.